Yo, what's up everybody? Jumpin' here, and I am back on some Anthem, and today I wanted to show off my Colossus build. The Colossus is so overpowered. He has so many things going for him. He's extremely tanky, he has amazing combos, and he detonates those combos with his melee, and his melee is really good. I definitely think that the Colossus is one of the best, if not the best javelin in the entire game. Now, before I actually get into the build, there was one thing I did want to quickly talk about, and that this is probably going to be my final Anthem build video, at least for now. I definitely will return to this game in the future if they actually will do something with it, but right now it's looking pretty grim. This game is pretty much dead, and it seems like the only videos that are getting any views when it comes to this game is going to be videos about how the game is dead. That's what I've noticed. That is the trend on YouTube, and that is because the game is pretty much dead. The player base has left. BioWare has been silent for about a month. We don't know what they're doing. So I think it's finally time for me to move on. I am going to probably grind a little bit of Monster Hunter. I might make some Monster Hunter videos. I am excited for Iceborne for when that comes out, but I'm also excited, of course, for Borderlands 3 and also Neo 2. I'm really big into grinding games, so grinding Anthem was really never a big issue for me. But I think that I'm finally fed up because it took me so long to grind out this build. And good luck to anyone who wants to actually play this game, and if you want to actually grind for this kind of stuff, because it just takes forever. It really does, and it's unfortunate. And one of the things about this build is that this build is not 100% complete. There is something that I am missing, and I think if I had it, it would make this build so much better. But the chance of me getting that one thing I want is so low. It is so low. And in fact, there was another thing I wanted, and I did get it, but it took me about 2 weeks of playing on the Colossus non-stop every single day for at least 3 hours a day to actually get the one item. That's how ridiculous it was, because the drop rate is definitely the biggest issue in this game, and it's amazing that they haven't actually done anything about that yet. So I do hope that they will fix this game because I do like it and I have enjoyed my time playing it, but until they do, I think I'm done. I'm checking out, and I might make a video about my journey with Anthem because I am a really hardcore Anthem player. I have grinded this game like crazy, and I don't know if there's another video out there of someone who has played this game as much as I have and is now finally quitting and can actually talk about why I'm quitting, and also just about everything that BioWare has done with this game and how disappointed the fan base is, especially the people who really did enjoy this game. Alrighty, now that we got that out the way, let's actually talk about this build. So the first thing I want to talk about, I guess, is the support gear. I'm using Battlecry. The Colossus has some really amazing support gear. I like both of them, Shield Pulse and Battlecry, but I do like Battlecry more. It will debuff every enemy in front of you. And it's kind of crazy because the only other support gear I think that is actually pretty good is the target beacon with the interceptor, but that only affects one target and then it moves, where with this, you can affect everything in front of you and debuff an entire group, a boss, it does not matter. This is extremely good. Now this has luck on it, so you always want to have luck on your support gear, but Battlecry is amazing. Moving on, let's talk about the Heavy Assault Launcher. I'm using Salvin Green. This is definitely the best Heavy Assault Launcher just because of what it does. It will buff your combos to do 200% more damage. That will put you on par with the Ranger for single target damage. On GM3, I can one-shot elite enemies with my combos as the Colossus. That is insane, and that's a single target too. If it's a group, they are definitely dead because the more in a group, the better, and the stronger the combos are going to be. But the Colossus is just so overpowered. I have general damage on this, so that's really nice. Gear damage isn't really a big deal. Weapon damage is fine. The main thing about this, though, is I don't really use it for the acid effect. It only has 7, so it takes a lot of shots to apply acid. So don't really bother with that. There are better ways of applying acid if that's what you want to do. And I mainly just use it for the 200% more combo damage. Now let's talk about the Ordnance Launcher. Now for this, the best one by far is the Dome. Anytime you use this, it will freeze enemies. Literally a half a second is all it takes to freeze an enemy, and you can freeze an entire group, combo that entire group. it is amazing. The roll I have on this is really good. I have 200% gear damage, 35% luck, 35% charges, and 25% support recharge. Support recharge is something that you do want, I think, on the Colossus just because the support abilities are actually really good. Now, back in the day, the Voss's Arc was extremely good because it had an unlimited recharge, and that was amazing, but they nerfed that, so right now the Dome is definitely the best, and the Furnace is definitely not bad either. But overall, one of the reasons the Dome is so good is because of the weapon, and that is going to be the Warrior's Blaze. With this, you can light enemies on fire, so what you can do against something really strong is you can freeze it, detonate it, shoot it, light it on fire, detonate it, and then freeze it and detonate it. You can do this as many times as you want, so anything that's really strong, you could just keep comboing that enemy until it is dead. This has 90% armor on it, 80% shields, but it also has 45% support recharge, which is amazing because I love using Battle Cry. My other weapon, I'm really just using it for the armor. It has 150% armor on it. That is ridiculous. This build is so tanky. I have so many health bars, you can't even count them. It also has gear damage and it has force on it. Now let's talk about the components. There is one component here that I do not have and I wish I did, but that's fine. It doesn't really matter. It's going to take me so long to get. The first one is Catalytic Overdrive. This is going to increase combo damage, which is amazing. With this in the Softened Green, that's 250% more combo damage. If you are using Consumables and you are double stacking the combo sigil, meaning the epic and the rare, that's a 50% increase to damage as well. So overall, you can get 300% combo damage on the Colossus, which will put him on par with the Ranger for single target combo damage. And in a group, like I said, everything will die. Moving on, next up is Grand Entrance. This will definitely help you for stronger enemies. If you jump in the air and then melee, it will do more damage. It can do about 20 to 40,000 more damage, so that can definitely help you take enemies out. This one actually has support recharge on it, so I really do like it. Next up is Reinforced Hull. This is actually pretty good. It used to kind of suck because it used to only give your magazine capacity 5%, but now they buffed it to 35%, so that is definitely helpful for a lot of different weapons. Also, the effect on it is good. Whenever a status effect is cleared, your damage will go up by 33%. So that is really nice. You're always getting hit by status effects, so you can get this quite a bit. Now, the roll I have on this, I have 40% resupply drop rate. You definitely want to have repair drop rate or resupply drop rate because you want to get those health packs to get your health back up. Next up, this is the one that took me forever to get. It took me about 2 weeks of non-stop playing, maybe even 3 weeks of non-stop playing, and all I wanted was this, and I grinded, and it was a nightmare to get, but I finally got it, which is Shock Treatment. This is amazing. Taking damage will increase all your damage by 8% for 10 seconds, and that can stack up to 10 times. So that is 80% damage. It takes literally seconds to actually get the 10 stack. And every time you get hit after that, it will reset it, so you will just keep that 80% more damage pretty much the entire time, and it is amazing for that. The roll on this isn't all that great, but I am just happy that I got it because it took me so long to get. Next up is Demolition Tribute. This is actually kind of nice. Whenever you are running with your shield out, you can actually do some extra damage. What is good about that is that you can strip shields of enemies really easily with that if that's something you want to do. But the main reason why I'm using this is just because whenever you kill something with your melee, you will actually restore armor, which is really nice. The wording of this is really funny. It's kind of a meme. It says melee hits will cause enemies to restore 20% armor when defeated. So that is worded really badly because if you are a new player and you read that, you might think, wait a minute, am I going to heal the enemies when I hit them? What? But in reality, what it does is that whenever you defeat an enemy with a melee, you get 20% more armor back. Now, the final component I have on here I do not like, and I wouldn't recommend it. That's Stewart's Badge. This will increase maximum ammo capacity, which is really not that good. Also, when you are hit with a status effect, your gear damage will go up. Gear damage isn't really necessary. This is a combo build. It's all about combos. But I'm using it because it has 40% luck. My overall luck with this setup is 95%. I hate luck just because every time you make a build, you are always thinking about luck. How can I get to 90% luck? That's what BioWare said is the cap. I want 90% luck. I want more drops. So I think they should remove the luck stat and just make it rain loot. If they did that, that would be fantastic. I hate making a build and then always thinking about luck because I want to have as much luck as possible because I want to get more drops. Now in reality, the other component that I really want that would make this build perfect, that is Bloodlust. What that does is that will increase your melee damage by 30%, and if you kill something with a melee, it will increase your melee damage by 75%. So that's a lot of melee damage, and you're going to be meleeing a lot with the Colossus, so anytime you have that buff, your melee is going to do so much more damage. I definitely want that. I just know I'm never going to get it. That would also be really good on the Interceptor. It could also be good on the Ranger. But there are a lot of universal components that are really good that I do not have. I have a lot of trash ones, and that is really unfortunate. But that would be, in my opinion, probably the best other component to use on this build if you can get it, or if you already have it. Now, quickly, I do want to show you the alternate setup with this. It has less luck on it, but it does actually have a little bit more offense, so I'll explain that. First off, I am using a different support gear. This one has 35% luck, 5% combo damage on it. Now, because of the luck I have on this, that's 35% as well. That is 70% overall luck. But what I am using instead of the useless Steward's badge is I'm actually using acid slugs. I have 85% armor on this and 5% elemental resistance. But what this does is that whenever you actually hit an enemy with your shotgun, you have to get 7 of the pellets to connect, and if you do that, it will automatically apply acid to the target. Now, there is a weapon that makes this really easy to apply acid. Remember, you do have the Sovereign Green, but the Sovereign Green really sucks for applying acid, so I just prefer to use a shotgun instead. And the other weapon I'm using is actually the Rolling Carnage. I can't dodge, so I can't actually get the weapon damage buff, but that doesn't matter. I'm just using it to apply acid. And what you can do is, because this weapon shoots twice, it will pretty much automatically apply the acid. And that is amazing. So this is something that I would potentially recommend, because what you can do with this is that you can have this out, shoot a strong enemy to debuff it with the acid, use Battle Cry, detonate the acid combo, use your dome to freeze, detonate that combo, switch to the Rallyer's Blaze, set it on fire, detonate that combo, and then just go back and forth, put ice and fire the entire time. And if you do that, you can do a lot of combos, you have your debuffs on, and I really do like this a lot. The roll I have on this is 95% armor. It also has repair drop rate, physical damage, which will buff my melee damage, and also it has 30% L1 recharge. So overall, this is actually a pretty good roll. So that is the Colossus build. Now I'm going to get into the gameplay to show you what this can do. But the Colossus is so overpowered and so good that it actually makes Grandmaster 3 a joke. It's a complete cakewalk because your combos are extremely strong, you have crowd control, and you have so much health, you're so tanky. The Colossus is, in my opinion, one of the best, but maybe the best, just because it really does make Grandmaster 3 a joke. And when I'm playing with all my other javelins, every single one of them is 788. The easiest time I ever have playing on Grandmaster 3 is with the Colossus. So if you're going off of that, I would say that the Colossus is probably the best. Alrighty guys, well this is going to be the gameplay. It is on Grandmaster 3. I'm in free play currently. I'm in a cave, so all the enemies in here are going to be elite enemies. And also, when it comes to my consumables, I am using double combo sigils, so I have 30% and 20% for 50% more combo damage, so I'm double stacking that with the rare and epic one, and I'm also using the melee sigil for 30% more melee damage, although I would also recommend the armor sigil potentially if you want to use that. Take a look at my health bar. It is out of this world. That is so crazy. But now, we are going to go and just pretty much wreck everything in here, and remember, you do have access to Grand Entrance, so that is something that I can do. I can go ahead and jump in the air and then come down, and that's going to do more damage if I do that, although that's normally not a problem. I don't even need to bother with that, because my combos should one-shot pretty much every enemy in here. And yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, especially once I get the shock treatment going. But the thing about that is that that's pretty much going to last the entire time, because it literally gets to 10 in a matter of seconds, and then once it's at 10, it's going to stay at 10 because I'm going to keep getting shot. Now, the best way for me to recover health is really just getting the health packs. Although, if I do kill something with the melee, I will recover health, which is nice. But it's really not necessary just because I can get a lot of health packs normally. And I'm so beefy that it's really not a problem. Now, anytime there's a spawn of enemies, that's where I will normally use my support gear. And by doing that, although I don't need to against these enemies, but by doing that, I'm pretty much guaranteed to one-shot every single one of these enemies with the combo for sure. The Dominion elites are honestly a little bit stronger, and I probably wouldn't one-shot them with a combo if there's a single target. If it's a multi-combo, though, where it's a big group, it will definitely take them out. When it comes to the annoying freaking elementalists, normally you can just melee them out of the air. The melee has insane AoE on it. But I mean, this is pretty much the cookie cutter build for the Colossus. I think everybody has known about this build for a very long time, but it's effective, and that's just the reality of it. Now, when it comes to like the boss level enemies, it's always best to go ahead and debuff them. And now let's get a big multi-combo. And at this point, once he's frozen, I just need to shoot him to go ahead and get him to be unfrozen, and then I can just combo him again. That works extremely well against things like the Enforcers, because on GM3, the Elite Enforcers honestly do take a minute to kill just because they're pretty freaking strong. So normally, I do like multiple combos, just non-stop, just freeze, detonate, shoot them, detonate, and I want to say it takes maybe 5 combos to take them out. But I also normally do go ahead and just use my ultimate on them. And if I can hit the crit spot, my ultimate can hit for over 1 million a shot. Especially if I do a combo. Oh my god, it's absolutely ridiculous. But as you can see, yeah, the Colossus is amazing. There is no doubt about it. The Colossus, in my opinion, is probably the strongest javelin in the game. Just because he's so beefy, his combos are extremely strong. You have amazing AoE and crowd control. It's pretty crazy. Alrighty guys, well that's going to do it for this video. I wanted to show this build since I worked so hard to actually get it. But like I said, this is probably going to be my final build video for this game for now. In the future, I will come back to this game if they do fix it. But at this point, I think it's time to move on just because everyone else is. And I don't really want to beat a dead horse anymore because the game is definitely dying, if not already dead. I think it's personally already dead. But we will see what BioWare does. Maybe they can revive it, but I don't know. It's looking pretty grim. They've been silent, and that's really been the thing that's made me want to just stop playing the game now. Because when BioWare was active and they were actually like talking about this game and talking about what they wanted to do, I was a little bit more hopeful just because I thought that they weren't going to just give up on it. But now, I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Now go ahead and leave a comment if you think I should actually make that video talking about this game and my experience with it and pretty much everything that BioWare did, and kind of give you the timeline as what it was like to be like a hardcore player playing this game and then experiencing all of the ups and downs with it. So let me know if you want to see that because I'm definitely thinking about making that video. But I would appreciate it if you could like this video for me. Be sure to subscribe for future videos. And I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day. And peace out.